What up, YouTube? We might as well get this started, man. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna talk about yet, but it's definitely gonna be about some trucking. Now, my name is BA. You might be able to find me on Badass, Mojo Live. That's probably gonna be my racing channel as I get into that. But I think I'm gonna title all my vlogs the Chicago Trucker. At any rate, I'm thinking one of the things that we're gonna talk about today is saving money in trucking. One of the best ways to make money in trucking is by saving money. Now, along the way, I had to learn that the hard way. Now, if anybody that's an owner operator or something like that, small fleet owner, you know what I'm saying, that's something that you're gonna find value in, is actually in saving money. That's really how you make your money. Now, I can give you a quick little example. You know what I'm saying? One of the main things that I do, I give you two. Like today, it don't really matter that I don't feel like it. I'm gonna end up changing my oil. See, I changed the oil on my truck because it saves money. Now, it might seem like a little thing, but the fact of the matter is, when you end up, it's like right now, I changed the oil, I can go to Walmart or whatever. I've done this on the road before too. But I spent less than $200 on getting some oil. Filters was like $30. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna change the fuel filters at the same time, that's another $70-something. So if you're getting a full service oil change and you greasing your truck, which I recommend greasing the truck every month. I do oil changes every month because I run a little bit anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I like to change them at about 10,000. I like to change it about 10,000 miles. That way, I keep the oil fresh. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I learned in the trucking, man, maintenance. You know what I'm saying? You take care of your maintenance, you stay on top of your maintenance. You know what I'm saying? It gives you way more longevity in the truck. You know what I'm saying? You think about all of that because for, I want to say about the last 10 years, I pretty much do all the maintenance on my truck. You know what I'm saying? If I got the tools to do it, I'll do the work, whatever need be changed. I mean, I've done a lot of shit from the rooter to the tutor. Most only thing I don't do is if I ain't got the tools or if it's raining. But I think this year I'm gonna go ahead and get me one of these portable garages so that I ain't got to worry about rain and I can be out the elements like in the wintertime when it comes to getting stuff worked on, because that saves a lot of money too. But let me digress for a minute back to the oil change and how this actually makes you money. I mean, you gotta think about it. You nickeling down yourself in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, you save them nickel and dimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just like with the oil change, I want to say I probably save about $200 by doing my own PMs, oil change and greasing and things like that. And if I'm changing the oil every month, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, that saved me $2,400 a year. Now, another thing, just random, where I save money and it make me more money, just like a lot of times I run down south from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? If I go southeast or whatever, I'll take a different route. It's like 5 more miles to take instead of going straight down 65. You understand? And straight down 65 and then cut over 64. What I do is go down towards Indianapolis and go down toward Indianapolis, cut 74, take 75 down. The extra little 5 miles when I'm going that way, you know what I'm saying, that saved me $25 back and forth. And then coming in out of Chicago, because I'm always going to the northwest suburbs, that saved me another $30 or something like that. So I mean, you gotta think about that. So that in itself in the week. Now, even though I might come in and out, and I still spend on tolls. You know what I'm saying? But just taking that route around in Chicago and going the extra 5 miles around when I'm going to that region, that could save me roughly another $60 in a week. So just off of them two things, now this is what I mean by being conscious, having being conscious of saving. You know what I'm saying? Having that mentality. Now this is particularly for people that's owner operated small fleet. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got drivers, you might want to direct the drivers in ways like this here, because at the end of the day, especially if you got somebody in the truck, you know what I'm saying? You got a driver in your truck. Now they ain't thinking about. They might not be thinking about all of this here, but at the end of the day, just off of those two things, doing your own oil change, you're gonna save $200. You're gonna save roughly $200 a month, and another another two something off avoiding just a couple of toes on your in and out. You know what I'm saying? That's them little couple $100 a month. That shit add up to like $5,000 a year. So that's why being conscious of saving actually make you more money. You ain't doing nothing hardly different, but just being conscious of that save you more money. And on top of that, as far as we're doing your, as far as you actually getting into your maintenance and stuff like that, oh, it's definitely gonna save you money. And that one thing off the top. Now, I don't know nobody that did want to turn down $5,000 in a year. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got other things to put that into. Even like in today's market, you know what I'm saying? You got crypto. If you if you put that little money into you put that little money, few $500 in a month, you know what I'm saying? Just off of strategic operations, saving, you put that into some crypto every month, you know what I'm saying? It could double. It could double, triple. Relatively easy. You know what I'm saying? So just being conscious of stuff like that, not only could you save $5,000 in a year just off of that, you could be done made an extra $5,000-$10,000 off of that. You know what I'm saying? So that could, just in a small way, just by doing little things, being conscious, you know what I'm saying, of where your money is going, you be done made an extra $15,000 in a year. That's just off little stuff. And being real pointed about what you do, it's a lot of little tricks and tools that you can use to go ahead and save that money. Which the eventuality of it is to make you more money. And I mean, that's a good place to be. I just got me some little Forgiatos. Them boys nice. I ain't gonna lie. I like it. You know they say the vehicle you drive say something about you. I think this is decent. It's decent. What it say to me, I'm a family man. So I got me a fancy ass little minivan. That's cool though. But yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. Now these ain't the greatest, but honestly, I ain't got no complaints out of this brand here. I use these. You can buy these by the Delvac. And it don't take long to do no oil change. I always use 20% of Lucas. I mean, I ain't gonna debate about it, because I done seen the results myself in using the Lucas, and myself, I done had pretty fair results using Lucas. I done had a situation where the oil was oil got black in the truck and shit like that, and I just use some Lucas. I done had a truck in the past before where it was like, oh, it seemed like the motor was kind of wearing down, and it was a little noisier than I would like it. But I end up, I don't that shit. The motor wasn't sounding good. I end up putting an extra couple 100,000 miles on there, and end up getting rid of the truck before it ever pumped out or anything like that. But just running the Lucas, because the Lucas is thicker. You know what I'm saying? I like the viscosity of it. Because the other truck I had, it got to a point where when it got around somewhere between 10, somewhere in the range of 10 to I want to say closer to 15,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? I don't like going past that for oil change, but with just the oil in it, and I was using Rotella at the time too, and I don't know. After that experience, I just ain't a big fan of Rotella, because the oil started breaking down, and at about 15,000 miles, the oil pressure would get a little bit lower. And I mean, I did fix that. The seals on the oil pump, it went back up, but I still noticed the difference in the viscosity. So I mean, now pretty much I just always use Lucas. You know what I'm saying? If you're like old mechanic or whatever, you'll know, like when you test the little old school test. When you testing your oil, you put some on your fingers, and you can kind of feel the viscosity of the oil as you rub it in your fingertips. You know what I'm saying? And then also when you wipe it off, you see how much little grime or blackness that you have in your fingerprint. You know what I'm saying? That's a real telling old school test. But that shit worked good to the motherfucker. But since I used this Delvac and 20% Lucas, I really ain't had no problems. Oil looked good, smelled good, and viscosity has been fine. You know what I'm saying? The Lucas helps it'll give you a couple more pounds. Of oil pressure. And honestly, myself, I just like it. So today, like I said, we're gonna do an oil change. It's gonna save me a couple $100 because I used to go to Speedco. I used to go to Speedco all the time, and on these, a Cascadia DD15, I know it would always run for like 4 something. Especially when I had them put the Lucas in there. But like I said, with the oil filter, just doing the oil filter and the basic PM greasing and everything, I spend less than $200 on doing an oil change. You understand what I'm saying? So that saves me at least $200 on oil change. That converted over a year, gonna save me somewhere in the area at least $2,500. So it's just good to be conscious of saving little stuff like that anytime you can. You know what I'm saying? And there's a multitude of other things that you can do to help save you money, which in eventuality it makes you money. And being conscious of that and actually putting that little bread into something that can make you some money, it just helps you keep running it up, man. So, long story short, just paying attention to what you do. And also, I usually get bigger totes. Like I said, I got these totes. They got oil in it. I save my oil. You know what I'm saying? Because what I am gonna do when I get my little portable garage, I'm gonna make me a oil burner heater. You know what I'm saying? So this gonna actually provide fuel for that. So through the winter time, and especially if I ain't driving no more, it come in handy because I might be in the garage a little bit more often, as I do have the intention to build my fleet. You know what I'm saying? So in doing that, I'd be able to do the oil changes on all of my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like when you add that up, Special note for your fleet owners. When you add that up, say it's 5 trucks. You know what I'm saying? Even 4 trucks. Just by changing the oil myself on 4 trucks, that saved me $10,000 a year. With 4 trucks, that would save me $10,000 a year. Now, being able to put that money into something, the eventuality of it, what I'm gonna end up doing is making $20,000-$30,000 off of that, just by doing my own oil changes. You know what I'm saying? And outside of that, even the thing like I said about when I got people coming in the city, if you got, depending on what time it is, because it really ain't that much more. Like you got to go in the northwest suburbs to come up 94, 290 on over. You know what I'm saying? If you do that once or twice a week, that's gonna save you $60 a week. You know what I'm saying? So doing that, I got 4 trucks doing that. That saved me another $10,000 a year that I'm gonna put into something else to double or triple it over the course of a year. So, I mean, shit, just with 4 trucks, you have potentially save, make an extra $40,000, $60,000 just by saving. You know what I'm saying? And having a state of mind to do that. I don't know if this little muffler rattle is, if you can hear that. It's probably irritating, because it'd be irritating shit to me. And that's one of the things I gotta get around to doing. I don't know, sometimes I drive a lot. I get home on the weekend, get back in town, and don't be feeling like doing a whole lot. But nonetheless, some of these things I'm gonna do regardless, just for the sake of the money that I make by doing it. So I mean, shit, that just comes with the territory. And we're gonna do that. Make money by saving money. And most of the time, that's really a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's really a big deal. You make, like I said before, and I'll say it again, you make money by saving money. That's the name of the game in trucking. Now, there's a whole bunch of other little things that you can, do, and I will talk about in regard to making money by saving money. Let me see. It looks like I need to get a little bit more light. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm gonna wrap this up. I might come back. I might show a little bit of oil change. Well, I'll probably do that in fast time if I can set up this camera. You know what I'm saying? Because it is, I don't know how many people do oil changes. How many people do it? How many of y'all do your own oil changes? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would figure that if you think about the fact that that's gonna save you, just doing your oil changes alone, you know what I'm saying, and greasing your truck, it saves you a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you have less to worry about. Yeah, let's talk about that. You got less to worry about with changing U-joints. You know what I'm saying? And your suspension components, your kingpins. When you keep all of that fresh, because you gotta think about it. If you ever done this yourself, you know what I'm saying, and you waited a little bit too long, and you will notice the dirt and the water that'll end up coming out of it when you greasing your truck. That's another thing why I think it's valuable, because you see more of the mechanics of the truck when you actually doing your own PMs. You know what I'm saying, and you're able to catch things early. Cause I just like, if you're gonna need a U-joint or something like that, or if you're gonna need kingpins, you're gonna be able to see that a hell of a lot faster, especially when you're doing that. When you're doing this maintenance on the truck yourself, you know what I'm saying? You'll see how much it takes, how much grease it takes. Because you gotta think about it. Kingpins and these metal to metal components, you know what I'm saying, whether they got a bushing in it or not. But if anybody know anything about mechanics, when I say metal to metal, you get the gist of what I'm talking about. The reason why they end up wearing out is predominantly by having a lack of grease in it. You know what I'm saying? So when you on top of that and paying attention to that paying attention to that yourself, then you really abreast of what's going on, and you can tell when you're gonna need stuff. And sometimes, if you needed to skate by a little bit, you can just grease it a little more often. I've had to do that before too. You know what I'm saying? It's just because it wasn't convenient, and I didn't want to pay. Uh, I didn't want to pay extra money for somebody else to do it. So, what was that? So I just greased it a little more often until it was convenient for me to do it, which that saved me a couple $100. And I mean anybody that's an owner operator or a small fleet owner, you know that um, maintenance and repairs is a larger part of your cost to keep you on the road. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to address things early, you also make more money by saving money by being on top of all of your maintenance. You know what I'm saying? And it gives you a better opportunity to plan out when you're gonna get certain things repaired. And you'd be surprised. Some people would be surprised to know how much money that actually saves you. You know what I'm saying? Now, me myself, um, I've always been mechanically inclined. I used to work on cars. I grew up working on cars and stuff like that. So after a while, I'm like, when I ain't even gonna say after a while because shit, my first year as an owner operator, I saved about $10,000 by doing work myself. Um, and I know for a fact that shit like that, you know what I'm saying, with somebody fresh in the business, has put people out of business. You know what I'm saying? They had to go back to driving somebody else, or got discouraged and decided to do something else because they like, that shit can be a headache, especially if a person don't have the mindset towards that saving money. You know what I'm saying? And actually having a reserve. And I mean, I'd be completely honest and transparent in this because I had times in the past where I wasn't as astute with things like that. You know what I'm saying? But having the mechanical inclination actually saved me from not going down, or not having to go out of business. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the truck on the road, and also not being astute with saving has cost me, and I had to go work for somebody else for a minute. But learning enough about the business, I had a I was in a better position to choose the right job then. Like I would never go to work for no big company or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I found somebody that I could get paid like a small fleet owner, get paid 30%. And I mean honestly, this that's like the type of thing that I offer myself. You know what I'm saying? When I'm looking for drivers or whatever, I believe in getting paid good. I believe in having the righteous opportunity to actually be able to go out and make some money. And that's one of the things that helped me get back on my feet when I had a transmission go bad. You know what I'm saying? Like one time, I was prepared for it because I had the synchros in my transmission. My first truck, the synchros in the transmission went bad. You know what I'm saying? The cool thing about it is I was actually prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? I was down in. Matter of fact, I was doing some of the worst shit. I probably would never do that again, unless I did it under my own authority, doing the dredge and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I know a couple of people that actually do it, and it turns out to be decent. You know what I'm saying? But when I first got in the game, I was pulling containers. It was like the worst money that I made. I honestly made more money as a driver. I made more money as a driver than I did as an owner operator before. Because I mean I was fresh and I didn't know enough. You know what I'm saying? When I got in, as an owner operator, I started doing the dredge, pulling containers and shit like that. And I would have weeks where I was only doing like $1,400. You know what I'm saying? Clearing $1,400. And part of me being mechanically inclined and knowing how to work on shit. Like I said, my first year I saved $10,000. I wasn't even making no money because I did have checks as little as settlements as little as $1,400. You know what I'm saying? When I was making $2,500, I was working my ass out to do that. You know what I'm saying? But come with the territory, man. Sometimes you go through them situations and you live and you learn. And one thing that you want to pay attention to is motherfuckers that been doing it and is willing to share information with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I have had a couple of experiences like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my buddy Fred. Yeah, we talk, and he's a large part of the reason why I end up choosing not to do container work. And after me doing it for a while, and I did it for a bigger company, then started doing it for a smaller company, and just where you actually had the opportunity to learn a hell of a lot more working with small companies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of small companies, in order to compete with